Hello, this is question number 2 from assignment 5. The question is to implement queue using two stacks S1 and S2. So what does this actually mean? Stack has first in last out feature, whereas queue has first in first out feature. So in stack, if this is a stack 1, 2 and 3, then if we use pop operation, then 3 will be removed, whereas in queue, if 1 and 2 and 3 are there in this queue, if we use dequeue operation, then 1 will be removed. So we have to implement this feature using two stacks S1 and S2, and with the help of push and pop stack operations. So to do this, first let's take an example. If these are the instructions given, queue is a queue, queue.enqueue, we are calling enqueue function, then again we are enqueuing 2, 3, then there is a dequeue, then again enqueue and dequeue. So how to do this? First let's take two stacks, that is S1 and S2. So enqueue, behind the scenes push operation is used. So 1 will be pushed to S1 as normal, then 2 and then 3. Now there is a dequeue. So if you dequeue from here, that is if you pop from here, then 3 will be removed, which is wrong. So what we have to do? We have to move this to S2. As long as S2 is empty, we can move this element from S1 to S2. That is pop from here and push to S2. So then, and then we can dequeue from here. That is in the behind the scenes pop operation will be used for dequeue. As the question is, we have to implement queue using stacks, so we'll use pop operation behind the scenes for enqueue and dequeue. I mean stack operations behind the scenes for enqueue and dequeue. So what we'll do for dequeue? For dequeue, first we'll check if S2 is empty. If S2 is empty, then we'll move from here to here by popping from here and pushing here, and then from here we can pop it. So what will happen now? 3, 2 and 1. So once it is moved, for dequeue it should be S2 dot pop operation. That means 1 is gone. So now S1 is empty and S2 has 2 and 3. Okay, this is till here, it is over. Now there is enqueue. What should happen? It should get pushed to S1 as normal, and then again there is dequeue. So we cannot move this here because this is not empty. If we move this to S2 before it is empty, then what will happen? Now S2, it will have 4, and then if you dequeue, then 4 will get removed, which is wrong. We want 2 to be removed. So what we will do? We'll keep 4 in S1 till S2 is empty. So if we encounter dequeue function, then we'll remove from here and not move and remove. We'll just remove 2, and then if there is again dequeue, then we'll remove this, and then if there is again dequeue, that time we'll move 4 from here to here and then dequeue it. So this is the idea. Now let me write JavaScript program for this. JavaScript doesn't have stack or queue data structures. So we can, for stack, we can just use array data structure and implement. So I'll first define a class called queue. So inside constructor, I'll initialize 2 stacks. So this dot S1 is equal to empty array, and this dot S2 is empty array. So close the constructor. Now what we'll do, we'll define enqueue and dequeue functions. So for enqueue, behind the scenes we'll use push. For dequeue, there are some procedures like we have to move from here, we have to check if this is empty. So we'll define these two. So first enqueue, we'll take x as parameter. So when we enqueue this will is the argument, right? So that is taken as parameter here. Then we'll push to s1. Okay, and let's print it. Console log enqueued element is x. Okay, next we'll define dequeue. So for this operation, the runtime is O of n, we are just pushing. For dequeue, it is O of n, because in the worst case, if S1 already has some elements, then we have to move all the elements from here to here in a loop. So O of n. Dequeue function. First, there are three conditions. First, if both are empty, both S1 and S2 are empty for dequeue operation, then it should show that S1 and S2 are empty. Second, if S is not empty, in this case, if S is not empty but S2 is empty, then we should move from S1 to S2. So S1 not empty but S2 is empty, then move. Correct? Then one more condition. What is that? Just dequeuing. If S2 is not empty, then pop from S2. So these are the three conditions we have to write for in dequeue. So first let's do this. If this dot s1 dot length is equal to 0, and this dot s2 dot length is equal to 0, then console log s1 and s2 are empty, and then return. Okay, now this is 1 second. If this dot s2 dot length is 0, while we have to loop and move all this, right? So while this dot s1 dot length is not equal to 0. If there are elements in s1 and if s2 is empty, then what we have to do is we have to push to s2 the popped element from s1. This dot s2 dot push this dot s1 dot pop. So popped element from s1 should be pushed to s2. That is what this line says. So close while loop and close if. Okay, now last, if this dot s2 dot length is not equal to 0, then pop from it. Console log, then this dot s2 dot pop. Okay, to print it, okay, I'll just take a variable p, and I'll take the popped element in variable p and then print it. Console log dequeued item is p. Close this if loop and then close the dq function loop, and then finally close the class. Now when we call, first let's define an instance of that class, or will define object variable q is equal to new q. Okay, and now let's write the instructions. So for this q, nq1, nq2, nq3, or dq, nq, and so on. So this will give output as nq'd element is 1, nq'd element is 2, 3, and dq'd element is 1, and again nq, so nq'd element is 4. Now again if we do dq, then it will dq'd element is 2. So this will be the output. Thank you.